Hello, Captains. It's me, TONIK TCW. We're here in the legendary tier Dansk, and I saved this game, and purely because of the name that I've given it, that damage means nothing. It takes so much more to win. It doesn't matter if you're hitting 100, 200, or 300,000 damage in your ship. If you're still losing games, then either you or others in your team are not doing what is necessary to give your team victory. And I know we can't control the entire game with a single ship, but what we can do is give our team the best advantage by understanding what we need to do to win and how we can achieve that. Now, I am the only destroyer in this game, and that means that my team should be looking to keep me alive. Because after the change to the spotting rules in Legends, literally it is pretty much always the case that the team with all their destroyers alive, or with some of their destroyers alive, is generally the one that is going to win the game. Because without your destroyers, it means that somebody else has to poke their fat ass out from behind an island to spot something, and they'll normally end up getting shot in the buttocks, sir. You know, they are going to be the ones that are going to get focused. And that leads to this god awful skill issue where people just sit behind islands and nobody will come out. Now, I'm up against this Kleber here. I did get spotted. He's got very, very low concealment. But I'm doing the old trick of radar followed by smoke to give me and my team 30 seconds to put as much fire as possible onto this guy. Now, he is very fast, he is very agile, but every single hit point that comes off that guy is going to change the way that he plays his game. I can't come out of my smoke just yet because I want to let that guy get away. But there is a Dutch cruiser in this game, and as you saw, the reason I slam it into full reverse is because I know that they're likely to do an airdrop if I'm in range, and given where I can see where he is at the top end of A cap, I'm within range of that airdrop, so I've got to think smart. It is a very good trick if you're playing with a destroyer and a Dutch cruiser and you can force another destroyer to smoke up. You can then airdrop on that smoke screen before you push in with your destroyer and either torpedo or gun him down. This game is going to be by absolutely no means a high damage game. The damage total that I'm going to bring away from this game, I'd probably score higher in a tier 2 destroyer. That's to be quite frank. But what I'm doing is I'm playing to the advantage of the team. We know that we have taken a fair chunk of health off that destroyer, but we're going to leave him. He's going to go away and lick his wounds. But I'm looking here and like there's nobody forward. Everybody wants to stay back. The only ship that did appear to push into Alpha got himself twonked, which means he got a bit battered and sunk. So there we go. Now, the guys on this side of the map have allowed a cruiser to get straight in, and I'm looking there. I was initially thinking it was a Dutch cruiser with good concealment, but then I can see it's a smoke screen. We know it's not the destroyer. There's only one ship there on the team list that has smoke, and it is this Brindisi. Now, they are accumulating points while they hold this cap. That is until such time as I sail onto the cap, because contesting a cap prevents the other team from continuing to earn points. Now, literally, I've said this so many times. You should never abandon the cap that you spawn on. That is rule number 1 of domination. Rule number 2 is if you cannot take the cap, you should at least try to contest it. That doesn't necessarily mean sailing into the middle of it. It means trying to spot the things that are in that capture point. Yep, you understand? And shooting them and knocking their accumulated hit points, or sorry, their accumulated cap points off them. Now, if you're a new player and you don't understand how cap points work, every ship that is in a capture point turning it will earn cap points. One ship will take 1 minute to turn one of these caps. Two ships will turn it. I believe it's 20% quicker because it's 1.5. Sorry, my maths is out today. But yeah, basically the other ship only accumulates 50% of the points that the first ship does. Now, if you shoot at a ship that is in a capture point that is turning to their color, and it does not reset completely, there is a good chance that there is another ship in that capture point that you can't see that is also accumulating cap points. Now you'll notice that across on A cap, we haven't got anybody contesting the cap. They haven't even pulled forward a little bit. Or rather, we have got one ship in contesting the cap, but it looks like he's going to get twonked too. But one of the other two ships that's on the 6 o'clock position of A cap could potentially sail in and assist in, contesting that cap. But we are in on this cap, and we are going to turn it. We still have had no sight of the destroyer since he got a bit of a hammering at the start, but the fact that red team are turning both caps is giving them a very, very slight points advantage until we lost that Christopher Colombo, and now they've got a much bigger points advantage. It was, I think, only something like 5 points. So we've taken this cap. Red team have just flipped a cap. I'm not going to go chasing damage to the back of the map against all those cruisers. There is still a destroyer out there, and I'm quite certain that he is across on a cap. Now, for whatever reason, our ship's there. One is backing off, one is pushing forward, and all he's doing is pushing forward straight into a crossfire, because there are at least 5 ships that are going to be up there if he goes around that corner. He's already very, 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 very low health, and he's now turned broadside to the, it looked like it might have been the Johann de Witt. No, it was a Preußen. Why would you turn broadside in front of a Preußen, especially when you're low health? I guess we'll never know. Now here, look, my twist and track / perceptive indicator flips to straight in front of me. There was a target on my right. It's now straight in front of me. Right, the Republic is 8.7 Ks from me. That means that the target is in front of me, is closer, which means he's in radar range, and it's the Kleber who has nothing left on him. And even though I can't get all my guns around that island, my front turrets will go around, and we managed to knock him out of the game. The Republic is pushing into the middle. He's in a very dangerous position. He now knows there's a destroyer in front of him. I'm going to make a complete pig's ear of this torpedo drop, because I'm going to leave a gap between the two spreads that is large enough to sail a Republic through. Sideways, never mind, bow on. But where I want to be is across on A cap. There are 2 cruisers at the back. There's a Preußen there, just spotted. I'm spotted by the Republic because I want to try and annoy him and get a shot on him. And I also want the guys that are hanging at the back of the map to shoot at me to reveal their position so that somebody can put some shots on. I told you I made a pig's ear of those torpedoes. There we go. There's 2 salvos come in. Everybody bar 1 cruiser has now revealed their positions to me. I'm going to get a fire on that Republic eventually. And yes, I am trading hit points, and I'm really hoping that somebody is going to kill that guy, because once he's dead, I will drop detection. But I don't know what people are doing. There's the fire. He is ticking. And do you know what people were doing? They were waiting for him to be low health so they could try and snipe the kill. But guess what? That one is mine. That Republic had time to get his guns round onto me and fire, and there were, what, 3 battleships there that could have taken him easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We are on 30,000 damage. That is it in a legendary tier game. But my trek across to Alpha Cap was interrupted. There are now, oh, what's that, around 9 points difference between the two teams. Now, if I can get onto A cap, because I'm not going to make it all the way to the top there, I can stop red team accumulating points. You don't need to kill everything in this game. If you get a lot of rapid kills quickly, you can knock their points down to 0 as long as you keep all your ships alive. But what I see is that the guys across on the right side of the map are pushing across to the center, but there is a cruiser out there somewhere. There he is. He's just appeared. That is, I believe, the Dutch cruiser. And then we see the Preußen coming round the corner. And not for the first time in this game, I am going to make a complete pig's ear of my torpedo launch. Yes, because I'm thinking he's going to push straight through. He knows he's spotted. There's potentially a chance that he knows that it's me that spotted him. He could potentially be running sonar. And now he's going to come into this capture point. Now, I've sat on this cap long enough to give our team a 1 point advantage here. It is not enough to win the game because of those 2 ships that are across there on the far side of the map. I believe it's Charlie Cap. One of them is going to die. I don't know what is going on in this game, but we are going to set this Preußen up for a fall, which should give us the opportunity to win the game, because with the time that's left on the clock here, we are playing for points. It is a 1 point win, and I'm trying to bait this Preußen out in front of this Christopher Colombo that's on my left. He knows that he's in torpedo range. I'm just trying to stay out of sonar range, and I want him to pull out. I'm tempted to fire my guns. If I had a smoke available, I would. But we lose our grosser curve first. That puts advantage back to red team. So what do we need to do now? We need to kill a ship to try and pull it back a little bit. And this Preußen has thrown caution to the wind, and he's going to sail out broadside straight in front of that Christopher Colombo, and he gets mashed. Now, this destroyer turns like a pig, so I realize that I'm not going to get turned at this side of the island. I'm going to have to go around. But the Christopher Colombo has alerted the Hindenburg to his presence, and the Hindenburg is now going to have a pop. So who has the points advantage here? It appears to be us by 5 points. That is it. And those 5 points can be gotten rid of easily if they manage to kill another one of our ships. It is 3 ships versus 3. We have a tiny, tiny, tiny advantage, and I want to get on this cap as red team sail onto Charlie. That means that they have stopped us earning points on that cap. So I need to get into this cap, and I'm putting myself at a huge, huge risk here. And I think this Hindenburg knows it, that it is me that is on this cap, and he is going to push. Now you'd think that the Temeraire down there on the right-hand side of the map would potentially turn and try and sacrifice maybe a few hit points to keep that cap reset, because that would really help. Just one salvo on that cruiser that is on the cap or turning around and pushing back against it would have stopped them from earning so many points so quickly, because they are going to flip that cap with 2 ships on it, and they now have the advantage over us. We are in the closing, what's that, 40 something seconds of the match. This is going down to the wire. Red team have it. We have it. Who has it? Torpedo on the Hindenburg. Guns out. Finish him off. Pulls the advantage. Back to blue team. Now all we need to do is stay alive. But for whatever reason, these two idiots turn around and insist on sailing back towards red team because all they're interested in is a big damage score. We don't need to kill them. The game is won, and I've got a huge, massive 40,000 damage. So there you go. It doesn't matter how much damage you get in a game if you're losing it. What you need to do is to use your brains to understand what is going on around the map and what you need to do to help your team to win. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Just give your head a bit of a shake, make those brain cells stick together for 15 minutes through the course of a battle, and who knows, your win rate it might improve. But I honestly can't promise that with the way I've seen some people play recently. But even I was a dope in a smoke today. Well, not quite a smoke. I came out of my smoke and then I ate a torpedo. So it happens to the best of us. Don't forget, smash the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see my pretty face, you can make a donation and I'll send you the link to my OnlyFans. Until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.